Alright, so we're back with Railroader, and there's actually an update based around the modding community, and it's not actually to do with Zamu this time, it's to do with Alina, Rex, Grizz, and a couple of other peoples that have helped make projects. To start with, I think we'll go over the A&R branch line of what I know. So, we've got a new mod coming. It's the A&R branch line, the Appalachian Railway branch line. It ran from Ella all the way to Ravenford. And it had stops at Nick Bottom, Birdtown, and Cherokee along the way. Now the line has been added into Railroader with new map tiles. So there was a scan of the game. There was a scan of the terrain around that had been scaled down and then plopped into the game. And it's not just that spot. It is like an entire square of the map that reaches all the way out to Silver, from what I know. That you can obviously put industries and all this in. And I know what the so this group that made it was Nick's, Grizz, Nick B, I believe, also had a part in it, who is back, yes. For the people who didn't know that he was around, he is still around. And some other people that I don't actually know. I don't know officially who all is working on the project, but I know a good handful are. And after this, they are going to be expanding and doing the Graham County Railroad. So, for those of you who don't know where or what the Graham County Railroad is, it was a little railroad that ran at the off of Red Marble Grade. It ran up the Graham round. It was a logging line. It was mostly served by Shays, and apparently, occasionally, Shays had to come off of the Graham County Railroad and onto the Red Marble to help some of the mainline trains get up the hill. So, I'm sure that would have been funny. And these Shays were fucking massive. Now, when you think of Shay, you think those little small fuckers that are narrow gauge, but these Shays are standard gauge. So when you think of these Shays, think of something like the Western Maryland number 6, which is actually, funnily enough, the last standard gauge Shay. At least, that's what many sources claim. I don't know, but I'll throw an image of it. And you can just see the sheer size and probably power that it would be. And then, after the Graham County Railroad, this group of people, they're going to work towards Asheville. And get that puddle line done. Now, they have done map tiles, they're doing milestones for the A&R, and they could figure out signals, but it's too much of a pain in the ass to actually do it until they're probably working towards Asheville. So it'll definitely be a later thing on the checklist to do. Now, as for when this branch line comes out, it is starting to wrap up into the final stages of testing, where we're getting some balancing in and finalizing some of the other stuff, and milestones are getting added. So milestones have not been added yet, but they will be. They're just not quite there. We've got custom colors for it and everything. It's just working on the milestones and then getting it out. So probably don't expect to see it for maybe a month or two at the most, is what I was told from Grizz, which is one of the people working on it, that it's probably not going to be out for at least a month. Because they're obviously still wrapping up all this stuff. And another thing that they might do, and it's not at all confirmed, is they might have 3 different difficulty levels of the mod. Where it's different levels of traffic. Because one time in the VC, I did make the argument that the lower cargo counts should be considered, and yeah, they're going to be doing that. So you could have 1,000 cars a day, or you could maybe have like 300 cars a day, because there is a lot of industries on the line. And there is an iron mine. There's also a very big sawmill that requires both logs and pulpwood to service. So there's that. There's a dairy. I don't really know much of the other industries. I don't have access to the mod. So there's that. So all the stuff is secondhand knowledge. Most of it is me being told directly from the developers of the mod what's happening and all this stuff. So always take stuff that I say with a grain of salt, because I don't actually know all this stuff. It's just what I've been told, so everything could be subject to change and all that. Another thing is a new project that has been working on for quite a while and has only just now entered public testing, and it's a thing called A.R.T, which stands for Alina's Railroad Tools. And what it does is it combines Strange Customs and Alina's map mods at the moment. In the future, Alina is potentially going to add Rail Loader into it so it can act as a loader, Strange Customs, and Alina's map mods all at the same time. Right now, there are a couple of issues if you want to use it. The main one being you can't have turntables. If any of your mods use turntables that you can't use it at the moment because it's a very big bug in it where the turntable won't spawn in the correct position and you'll have tracks going halfway across the map. Another thing to note is it is actively being worked on, so everything you've seen is subject to change and features are still yet to be added. I don't know why this occurred, but all I know is that it is coming out now, and it might end up taking the mod loading by storm because it works on Unity Mod Manager, but it acts like it's a reverse engineered Strange Customs and Alina's map mods combined into one. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. I personally can't get it working, so I can't show off any of the features with it, but there is an entire UI dedicated to it, I believe, but I don't actually know. So I think that's really all there is to say about Railroader this week. Other than maybe talking about Raider and his British locomotives, because he's been on fire this week. He's released several locomotives and he's released branchline coaches as well. So it'll be interesting to see those run, but they won't be getting run for a while, at least a couple of weeks, because I might play Railroader, might not, I might stream it, I might not, I might record it, I might not. We'll never know. All I know is that it's definitely not happening over the next coming days. So I guess I'll see you next week and see if I have maybe a status update on any of this stuff or some new stuff, because I have some personal mods in the works that I'm working on, which won't be public for quite some time. Some mods that are going to be coming will not become public unless both me and the other party that is helping me work on it agrees to it. So if you see any custom stuff, don't expect it to become public anytime soon, because a lot of these will be requiring full reworks later on. So I hope everyone enjoyed watching, and I guess I'll see you next week. See ya!